Welcome back, everybody. We got another Monday class tutorial for you, and this particular week what we'll be going over is the concept of animation, which I know animation is usually taught as a different style of popping, but actually the concept of popping itself came from the animations expressed in cartoon characters, Looney Tunes, things of that nature. So I wanted to give the kids kind of an introduction to that concept. So animation as a whole literally means taking something from life and either exaggerating its characteristics or creating a more dramatic expression for it. And how you can do this is literally by taking everyday things that you do, walking for example, picking up a cup or opening a bag or something like that, and taking those concepts and just exaggerating the details. I actually did pantomime when I was in middle school and high school for theater, which is the concept of acting on an empty stage without talking or making any noise, but telling a story and actually creating shapes and figures and objects without actually having them there. And you have to do it in a way to where the audience will understand what's going on too. Dancing, of course, is performing. So adding that concept of pantomime to your dancing and then using techniques like popping to create characters and personalities is another form of animation. That being said, for example, simple drills you can do is, for example, we all walk. If we're walking, well, cartoon characters, they walk really silly. They have really dramatic ways or creepy ways of walking. Those are base concepts for animation. So whenever we freestyle, I notice the kids will come out and they'll kind of walk out and they'll start doing all kinds of crazy moves, which it's mind-blowing. But now what we're going to start doing is learning how to take those crazy characteristics, those childlike antics that we all have, and add it to our technique. For example, whenever we're doing our waves and stuff like that, we're working on, being able to do our waves back and forth. Well, one thing I can do is, let's just say the world is actually not even the world. Let's just say my body is 100% water now. Well, I already know how to do a wave this way and this way, so I wouldn't want to come out and just be like, okay, and that's just it. I want you to believe that my body is 100% made of water. So what I would do is I would take that childish, exaggerative overexpression, and I'll make my waves where I'm going out like this, or I'm going down like this, and I'm just melting into it. And it takes away from the concepts that we already have for the wave and the body wave, and it pretty much just puts that whole other draw your own picture kind of feel to it. Meaning we have our techniques, we have our fundamentals, but once you get them, it's just like having crayons in a box. You have your base colors, but that never meant that once you learn how to use those colors and what they are, you can't mix them or combine them to create other colors or other shades. And that's what this means. So, for example, that concept of my body is now 100% water, well, yeah, I've seen the kids do all kinds of things where I'm literally combining, body waves and leg waves with arm waves, and I'm just adding that whole concept that I'm now made of water. Another key part to animation is right here. Popping expert Salah from France actually said, seeing is believing. And what he meant by that is, when you're dancing, if you can see the object and you can show the object, or you can see the storyline of what you're doing and show the storyline of what you're doing, so will everybody else that's watching you. Your facial expressions, your body language, everything. All of that is important, because it's not just, like commands on Fortnite where you go out and you press a button and it goes, do a wave, okay. And then you stop. And then it's, do a body wave, okay. And then you stop. When you dance and you're performing, you're telling a story. So maybe if for example, maybe I want to tell a full story of how, I don't know, maybe I drank something that turned me into water. So then I'm going to animate walking over here. I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to pick up my cup. And as you can see, there's physically nothing there. But just by me, with my expressions, I'm looking at this cup, I'm looking at this space, and the way I react to it I'm not only dancing, but I'm animating the concept of I'm holding a cup and I'm going to take a drink. And just like any other time you take a drink from an actual cup of water or a cup of juice or whatever it could be, I'm going to take this cup, I'm going to move it to my lips, and I'm going to drink. And I'm going to accentuate the concept that I'm drinking with that body wave to show that there is liquid going down my throat and into my stomach. And when that happens, that's pretty good, you know, and it's just different concepts. And what you want to do is you never want to lose track of what you're animating. And I know that's a lot in the first half of the video, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of break it up. So step one, using your technique and using your ability to, you know, to do these moves, that's step one. Step two, learning how to build with these moves, creating concepts, creating stories. That's the next step. That way it's not just one move and another move and another move and another move. Because when you're dancing, you're performing, and when you're performing, you want to take a person or anybody watching you on a journey from this, where you start, to that, where you end. All right? And each move you learn in class, each technique, whether it's waves, the hits we do for the popping, or the footwork with the gliding and the moonwalking and everything, all of that is part of your fundamentals for movement, for performing, for dancing. And I don't want you to get stuck thinking that, you know, you have to only do these moves one at a time, you know, and they have to be a move all by itself. They're like Lego pieces. And with Legos, they're pretty cool by themselves, but they're better when you build them together and add them to each other, because then you can build a bigger picture. And animation is that bigger picture. It's taking all these fundamental moves and techniques and it's creating a full-on picture. For example, a lot of kids ask about the robot. And even though the robot is one form of popping or animation, it is the most recognized one for the kids. Now, you have some people who do the robot and they're very traditional. They're, you know, they're like that. And then there are some people who are more intricate, where they do more like your animatronics, where they're like, I mean, but either way it goes, you get the concept is I'm a robot. That is a combination of the hits, waves, and isolations that you learn in popping. It is a form of animation. I am animating myself to look like a machine or a robot, whether it's traditional or it's all, you know, kind of basic, or it could be 2.0 where it's just like an android and you're talking like Terminator and we're trying to figure out, you know, what generation you're from. This is, either way you do it, animation is literally personifying inanimate objects, personifying cartoonistic appearances, personifying or exaggerating everyday things you do, you know? Like, for example, I don't walk like this. I don't know anybody who does outside of a cartoon. But if I start dancing, I will do that. Sometimes I'll walk in and I'll do kind of like a little weird scarecrow thing, and then, boom, it comes up through the arms. And as you can see, I'm adding all of my elements together. And maybe I'm like, whew, I'm a little tired. Yeah. And you drink. Whew. So I'm going to pick that cup of drink, whatever this is, back up, and I'm just going to drink it down. Now I'm no longer a robot. Now I'm made of liquid. You see what I'm saying? And I kind of spilled the rest of my drink, so I'm going to put this down. So today's, or this week's lesson is in building the story and animating. Building the story pretty much means plan out, for now, just plan out what you want to do. We've done this game in class where we'll say, hey, you're trapped in a closet, you're late for school, and the light switch doesn't work. And you got to act out, I'm trapped in a closet somewhere, I got to get dressed, I'm late for school, and I can get the lights to get on so I can get out of this closet. Stuff like that. Or one of my favorites that the kids have used at the after-school program is you're a janitor, and you're trying to clean up a cafeteria floor that's covered in juice everywhere you step. And the idea is not to slip. So And they love this one because a lot of them like to do all the little crazy footwork stuff. You know, they'll personify picking up a towel and trying to like wipe the floor, and then they'll mix it with their footwork, like trying not to slip. But these kind of silly concepts actually help build animation. Another drill is, you know, doing like kind of like a roll the dice type thing, where maybe this round I can only dance with my left arm and my right leg, meaning everything I do has to accentuate just my left arm and my right leg. And that means that my right arm and my left leg don't move. And you can switch it where it's just your right arm and your left leg, because then you can become better at animating and using different parts of your body so that it matches. Because you won't want to be the person that can do a really good wave on one side and then a bad wave on the other side. And you don't want to be the person that, you know, they can do angles and they can do all kinds of crazy things with one hand, and then this hand suffers. So once again, all of these are just different little drills and different techniques, but the main concept this week is to create and tell your story and be animated. And that means expressive, facial expressions. That means with your movement, make them big, but at the same time, keep them neat and sharp. Don't sacrifice the techniques of the hits and the waves and all of that for, you know, just to, oh, I'm gonna go out here and do whatever, because remember, you are still dancing. But now it's time to take that level 2 step where we're learning how to combine our moves together to perform and tell a story. All right? If you have any questions on that, of course, always ask me. I'm always available. And we're working on this a lot in class as well, because there are opportunities that often pop up for us to do different things with the students. So this is how we start getting y'all ready for that next level. If you have any questions, of course, always come out and you know, come ask me, and look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. Have a good one. GoPro, stop recording.